What's up, Rangers? Welcome back to another video of me talking about people I hate. Today, nightmares became a reality. For anybody who has not been following the horse locked in a dog kennel in Kentucky situation, we're gonna dive into it, so buckle up. These people, I'm sure, are far from the only ones that treat their animals like this. This is just one of the few that gets exposed on social media. There are many others that treat their animals the same way, and it deserves to be called out. They deserve to be blasted. So yes, this is a very real situation. This photo is not AI generated, although we all have to be concerned with that nowadays, don't we? Because literally everything's AI generated now. In this photo, you can essentially see a horse that is in a very small dog kennel with a tarp loosely draped over the top of it. This kennel looks to be around an 8x8 or maybe potentially a 10x10 kennel. This is a real house. This is a real property. I looked up the property on Google Maps. This is the property, and here's the dog kennel. Also, girl, what in the holy hell is going on this property? Okay? What in the trailer trash is going on in this property? Why is there so much garbage everywhere?
Brother, what's that?
If your property looks like this, I hate to break it to you, but you are in no position to have animals. If you can't even take care of yourself and your property, you are in no position to be taking care of animals. Any other life that depends on you, God help them. God help them, okay? We talk a lot on this channel about the 5 necessities that you need if you are going to be a responsible animal owner. Those being food, water, shelter, space, and vet care. All of those are extremely important and go hand in hand. If you can't afford them, then you can't afford your animal. I totally understand that vets are expensive right now, and that's a big problem that we need to look into resolving. However, vets have been expensive for the last several decades. Even though they're more expensive now, it's nothing new. So I've been telling people for the last 10 years, you need to have an emergency fund set aside for all of the animals that you have in your care for emergency vet situations. This person is clearly not in the position to be taking care of any animals, let alone maybe even themselves. Do you honestly think that you could have just kept a horse in a dog kennel and nobody would have called the police over that everybody else would have just been fine with it? With you guys abusing an animal and neglecting an animal in that way? That's insanity. Whitley Kurtzinger is the one who made the initial Facebook post, to my knowledge. Whitley also stated that she did contact the local law enforcement that basically said that they're not going to do anything. They wrote something down, but nothing's been done. Now, when it comes to this, firstly, we're going to get into how to do your reporting and how to deal with situations like this. Social media is a really good tool for getting things moving in the right direction, especially when it comes to animal abuse. Putting the public pressure on law enforcement that sometimes tends to drag their feet is really important, and that's something that only social media can do. So I really commend her for making this post, especially because it seems like she's not even a horse person. She was just a concerned citizen driving down the road who saw this. But I do want to clarify, yes, sometimes governmental agencies, sheriff departments, police departments, etc., they are slow to act. Sometimes they won't do something, but most of the time what it is they're just slow to act. A lot of these governmental agencies, and I know this because I deal with this every day, dealing with animal abuse reports, which, by the way, I just updated my website. There's a new tip line on there. The tip line is sending any animal abuse tips to raleighlinkshow@gmail.com. I deal with this all the time. A lot of the animal abuse that I get sent is way too graphic for me to even show on my YouTube channel or make videos about, but I do stay on top of contacting the local authorities and getting things done. So most of the time, like I say on this channel, when we talk about issues, especially issues like pink pony peptides, things are being done behind the scenes and it takes time. It is not something that these governmental organizations can just snap their fingers and have done overnight. Nothing about what Whitley posted is defamatory. Nothing about what she posted is something that someone could take legal action against her for doing. This is all true. The horse was in a dog kennel. The horse is being neglected/abused. It is in violation of Kentucky law, which is where the horse is located. And she did take the photo from a public street. So nothing that she did would result in any sort of real legal action against her. Of course, everybody can file lawsuits, but what most people don't understand is 99% of frivolous lawsuits get thrown out before they even make it to court. So just because everybody can file a lawsuit doesn't mean any of these lawsuits will actually go through. And I know that because I've had to deal with lawsuits of my own from people who were very, very mad that I posted videos about them. And they all lost. And I want to be really clear right here. What laws were broken? Let's talk about it. Kentucky has many different animal welfare laws that are related to this specific case. KRS 525130 is their cruelty to animals second degree. The definition of this statute is a person is guilty when they intentionally or wantonly subject an animal to cruel neglect or fail to provide adequate food, drink, space, or health care. Space being the key factor here. Horses require a minimum living confined space of 12 by 12 feet with food, water, adequate shelter, and additional turnout space. I mean, I would argue that keeping a horse strictly in a 12 by 12 box 24/7 would classify as neglect still. Cruel neglect is defined in Kentucky as a failure to provide the necessities of life: food, water, shelter, space, care, sufficient to maintaining an animal's health and well-being. So the possible violation here is that this horse is confined in a very small kennel, not designed for horses, in the winter with inadequate shelter, space, and possible inadequate water, access to food, and definite safe housing. 302 KAR 21020 Kentucky Livestock's Care Standards. The definition of this is livestock must be provided adequate space, sufficient to stand, lie down, turn around, and move normally. Protection from extreme weather conditions, adequate food, and portable water. Housing maintained to prevent injury. So let's talk about the possible violations we have here. Obvious inadequate space, inadequate shelter, potential lack of water or food, unsafe housing in general. Why is this considered unsafe housing? Because it's a dog kennel. The average dog kennel, especially these, are designed for animals that are between 10 and 150 pounds, 4 foot by 6 foot, or max 10 foot by 10 foot. Dog kennels are also built with chain link panels. These are designed for low lateral pressure, anchored lightly for freestanding, and not engineered for impact from 1,000-pound animals. Chain link fences pose serious collapse or entrapment risks for horses. Nobody was talking about that, but it's not just the actual space requirements for the horse, it's the safety of the material. Who the hell puts a horse in a chain link fence? You're insane. Not to mention the other neglect aspect of this is the lack of socialization for this horse. The horse is all by itself and seemingly has been all by itself for several weeks, according to multiple people that have been driving by this property. Why would you socially isolate a herd animal? Why would you ever think it's appropriate to put a horse inside of a dog kennel? You have to be the dumbest on the face of the planet. There is really no excuse for this. I don't care if this horse was only inside this dog kennel for 1 hour. No excuse. There's no adequate shade. There's no adequate shelter, no adequate fencing, no adequate space. This whole thing is like a dumpster fire. I mean, seriously, this could go so wrong in a matter of seconds for any horse that decided they wanted to try to make their way out. Firstly, it seems like multiple people reported that the guy allegedly was moving the horse back behind the trailer and tied it to a tree so that way people would stop driving by, filming it, or taking photos and calling the police. Now, that's just alleged from what I saw in the comments, but given that the family pretty much outed themselves and didn't have an excuse for why they did this, I kind of believe it. Okay, I kind of believe it. Especially because, oh, look at this. They literally were saying that they're mad that people are driving by their house when they outed themselves publicly on Facebook. Dumbass Tiffany said, okay, for starters, you don't know who the fuck you're talking to, nor about, nor do you know the damn story behind this horse. Does the story matter, Tiffany? Does the story matter, Tiffany? So I quit cussing people you don't know a damn thing about. This is my father, and if you're talking about the one that got it out of the pen, well, that would be my son. If you have issues with either one of them, I'll gladly meet you and people, and we can talk about it. Until then, y'all worry about your damn selves. The horse is being moved, so y'all nosy-ass motherfuckers can quit driving up and down the damn road. Thanks. So I'm assuming Tiffany is probably the daughter of the guy that owns the property, and seemingly her son, Hunter, is the owner of the horse that was staying at the property. Also, the way that I know that Hunter is most likely Tiffany's son is because she comments on like a lot of his Facebook posts. Like this one, love the Confederate flag. We really know who we're dealing with here, you guys. We really know. Losers. You know the Confederacy lost, right? That's the funniest thing about people flying Confederate flags. They lost. They also stabbed the Union in the back. Like, learn your history, folks. Learn your history. I love Hunter, her son. It's my horse, my pawpaw, my hee-haw, my wee-waw. Got it for me, not thinking I'd just been so busy with work. I haven't had the time to come get it, but I am now. I've been out there riding the horse, just been a matter of time of getting a truck so I could haul it, but I got one. I like how he thinks just because he's been out riding the horse that it's somehow okay that they've been keeping it locked up in a dog kennel. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here, you guys. They think it's okay just because he's been out there riding the horse. Okay, his pawpaw got it for him. His hee-haw, his meemaw. His peepaw. But I mean, do we really expect much of poor Hunter, you guys? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Tiffany. Why do you guys have a horse? Why? Like, seriously, why? Ask yourself that question. Why do you have a horse? What is the point? If this is what you're gonna subject the horse to, what is the reason for you having it? I don't get it. Why do animal abusers, like, intentionally want to expose themselves and drag themselves? I will never understand. So Tiffany seems to have sent Whitley some pretty threatening messages on Facebook as a result of her post. Take this shit down, bitch. The horse has been moved. I'm on the phone with police and we'll be filing slander charges if you don't remove my dad's physical address and any other personal information from Facebook. And I don't know who you think you are, but I be careful who I call a little pussy ass bitch. Wow. Lovely poetic words from Tiffany. Words of wisdom. Words of humility. Words of intelligence. You think anybody's concerned about you guys suing anybody? You guys were keeping a horse in a dog kennel. I don't think I'm worried about you guys suing anyone for that matter, okay? Also, it seems like a few other family friends sent her threatening messages as well. And then another chick reached out. I guess she's somehow, some way a friend of the family, or I don't know, whatever. I can't be bothered. A cousin who married a cousin maybe. And she basically said that they went to go pick up the horse and move the horse to a better location. They also sent a video and photos of the horse being moved. They also showed photos of the horse at a new place where the horse has like a severely matted mane. So again, feeding into the original thought of this horse is being neglected. Just because a horse is not being starved does not mean the horse is not being neglected or abused. And we talk about that all the time here on this channel. But irrespective of all of these events that have happened and them moving the horse as a result of unwanted media attention, essentially, I do not believe that this horse is in good hands. I just don't. And I think it's entirely likely, my opinion, that once the dust settles on this, they take the horse right back to the original location and put it right back in a dog kennel. So the idea that this is now just said and done and over with is not true. So don't trust for a single second that just because the horse has been moved to a new location, that it's all said and done. The horse is still in the hands of this psycho family that believe that giving the horse food and water is all that's needed to provide an animal with an okay existence. I want to finish off this video by saying that I will be staying on this situation, but if you find yourself in a situation like this where you need to report animal abuse, if you don't want to do it yourself, you can always send it to me. Again, the tip line is raleighlinkshow@gmail.com, or you can contact all the local police, the sheriff's department, file reports with the animal control and the state police. You can even contact your local congressperson as well. Another important thing, if you are someone that doesn't have social media, contact your local news. Also, if you're someone who has social media, you can post it on social media. But that's all I have for today's video. I'm really proud of everybody in this situation that got shit done to get this horse removed. And I definitely hope everyone still stays on this, because the horse still is with this exact family and we need to make sure that it doesn't end up back in that dog kennel.